History is a lie. History is a compilation of civilizations coming and going, defeating and victories being had, stemming from 100,000 years ago. Scientifically, there were only Africans on this planet. So therefore, you tell me that the history that we have been taught all our lives tells us that there's black history, there's European history, that we get more training of than anything else. And the black history they try to stop. But black history, Indian history, Peruvian history, South American history is history, world history. And for once in our life, we got to stop being so stupid, believing what the liar tells us. And history is a lie. And the lie has been told to us to keep us from knowing who we truly are and acting in the way that we ought. You are defined by what you do, and if you let somebody in your brain, okay, then they can train you, okay? Now, the fact is, under certain conditions, you may not have a choice. But those conditions do not keep you in a position where you can't escape at one time or another. Sometimes you get so used to the system that you're in, it's like we got used to white supremacy, and so therefore we don't know who we are, and we follow somebody who's been mistreating us for over 500 years. Well, the buck stops here. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The court is in session. The BS stops. You believe what you want to believe, and if you want to go off with somebody who's been mistreating you and doing that for centuries, then you go ahead. But you can't live in both worlds. And I'm not calling you a Tom. I'm not calling you a traitor. I'm not calling you nothing but what you are. And I'll let you define that for yourself. But there's only one human race. There's only one history. And it's about time we start living like that. Because right now, if you think that they don't want to keep us divided, look at what's going on right now. See, it was okay to elect somebody, who looked like you, who you thought you were going to eat at the same table with them, until they started talking about Heil Hitler, and they started taking jobs from you, and then they started putting you in the same basket with what they were calling India, what they call them, the untouchables, the people, the lowest of the low. Well, I'm on a natural high now, my African natural high, okay, where I come to my senses, okay, live free or die trying, whatever the case may be. But when you can see, you no longer will listen to thee.
America's dissonance is we have a country, and see, America's dissonance is we have a country that has prided itself on democracy, on send us your poor, your tired, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, one nation under God. And all of those great, wonderful pronouncements would be great if at the same time you weren't enslaving African people and committing genocide against indigenous people. Right. How do you reconcile that conflict? And again, here's the thing that's so deep. They say, well, it's so upsetting and troubling. We can't teach African American history. We can't. Well, it's history. Right. Okay, first of all, but we can't teach it. It's going to upset the little children. They're going to feel guilty. They're going to, be cowering in the corners. Well, my niece recently, this is very recently, that, the last year or so, her job was to go around the state of Oregon, and share history. And she shared the history of Thomas Jefferson, oh boy, and, Phyllis Wheatley. And then she would give them these questions afterwards. And one of the things that Thomas Jefferson said was that Black people weren't smart and could not be creative. They could not produce art.
Right.
Right. These are the things that he said, and in my presentations, of course, I show things that really, really contradict that whole idea. But she asks her students, these are sixth grade, predominantly white students, she asks them, why do you think Thomas Jefferson might have said that black people weren't smart and couldn't be creative? And one of the kids said, well, when you objectify people, it's easy to look at them as lesser than you. Another one said, because if people thought that black people were smart and black people were creative, then they wouldn't want to make them slaves.
Right.
And then that would lose him a lot of money, right? Another one said, well, he's racist. The other ones said, over and over again, I said, do these sound like children cowering in a corner,
right,
afraid? No, they're clear. And they're not going to adopt those perspectives of their parents. That's why they don't want it taught. What's the problem? They can't, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, all of it. And so when you think of that, if we're eliminating Rosa Parks,
come on, you
think I'm going to let you talk about American chattel slavery? The rape, the pillage, the destruction of people? The experimentation, all of those things?
Yeah.
No, but this is the truth. And I believe that truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtue. Without truthfulness, you cannot attain the other virtues. You have to first tell the truth.
Yeah.
And that's fundamental as an educator, as a clinician. When people come to me for therapy, when I was, doing one-on-one therapy, inevitably they come with a presenting problem. Well, it's my 14-year-old. She's acting out. And I'll start there. But there's always a secret. And the secrets make us sick.
I want you to get into this because even when you talk about in the book, which your book is on the banned book list.
Yeah.
Your book, you can't put this in the schools.
Oh, no.
And I was telling my sister, I was like, I think we need to make our book club a banned book club.
Yeah.
Because we have to be able to make sure that our children, that our friends, that our cousins, that our sisters.
The book that they are talking about is Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And the only reason why they do not want to teach Black history and to put those type of books in our schools, okay, is because they don't want the truth to come out any further. It's already coming up. Every time they dig right now, it's coming up black. And the fact of the matter is, she said the truth is the foundation of morality in any society, okay? But we have no more morality here. We have people that come into office to make a buck, to steal, rob, and pillage. The same way that they got America and they got Africa and everything else. His story is no longer valid. It is our story, world story, and soon as you get off of your ass and do something about what's going on, it'll be a better world. I didn't want to get too excited, but sometimes this is what you need. You see, y'all like to be entertained. And while they're entertaining you, they're inside your house, inside your mind, inside your pockets, robbing you blind of your life, your dignity, your manhood, and your money. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is February, something that they designated, which nobody should be able to designate anything for a people. The power should be in the people, but the people have turned into the lambs, and the lambs always get sheared and slaughtered. It is about time that you become the kings and queens that you were destined to be and live the life that the Creator wanted for you. That was abundancy, not foolishness. It was freedom, not slavery. It was manhood, not cowardly. So stop cowering in the corner. Pick up your American Revolution ideals and get your country back, get your house back, get your money back, get your job back, get your life back.